NASA says Voyager 1, the most distant human-made object in space, has detected something unexpected, something that might not even belong in space as we know it. Even more surprising, Voyager 1 itself has started changing. It's adjusting its own systems in ways the engineers never programmed. Some are wondering, did Voyager 1 find something alien? Or has it become part of something much bigger than we can imagine? This spacecraft, launched way back in 1977, is still working nearly 50 years later. It was launched during a time when bell-bottom jeans were popular and the original Star Wars had just come out. Since then, Voyager 1 has traveled over 15 billion miles from Earth. It's now in interstellar space, the area between the stars where the sun's influence no longer reaches. Even though it's only about the size of a small car, it's the first human-made object to ever go this far. Because of the distance, it takes about 22 hours for signals, traveling at the speed of light, to reach Voyager 1. So when scientists send a command, they have to wait almost 2 full days to get a reply. It's like having a conversation where each person takes a full day to respond. What makes all this more amazing is that Voyager 1 was never meant to last this long. The spacecraft runs on a nuclear power source made from plutonium, which was only expected to work until the early 2000s. Yet here we are, decades later, and Voyager is still sending signals back to Earth. The tools on board may seem outdated now. It carries instruments built with 1970s technology, magnetometers to measure magnetic fields, cosmic ray detectors, and plasma wave sensors. These tools were originally designed to study planets in our solar system, not deep space. But now, they've become something more. They're humanity's first way of hearing and sensing what's beyond our solar system. Voyager 1 also carries a golden record. This is a time capsule filled with sounds, music, and greetings in many languages. It was made to be a message for any intelligent life that might find it, even thousands or millions of years from now. But maybe we didn't have to wait that long. Maybe someone, or something, has already noticed it. The mystery began when a strange signal was picked up. At first, it seemed like just another glitch. Space is full of dust, radiation, and strange signals that usually don't mean much. The scientists at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory thought it was just background noise. But Dr. Eliza Kana, one of the mission specialists, noticed something unusual. She said it was like shouting into a canyon for decades and finally hearing something shout back. The signal was faint, barely noticeable. But then things changed. The object Voyager 1 detected didn't just float like random space debris. It moved smoothly and seemed to be under control. It didn't spin or drift aimlessly like a rock. It curved. It sped up. It acted as if it had purpose. And then Voyager's plasma sensors picked up a shift that looked intentional, not random. That's when NASA realized, this wasn't background noise. This was something entirely different. After all the usual checks, systems analyst Carlo Romero noticed something strange about the object Voyager 1 had detected. It wasn't behaving like space debris or a natural object. It moved smoothly and intentionally, more like a drone than a drifting rock. That single observation changed everything, because in space, things don't move with purpose unless something is guiding them. As Voyager sent more data back to Earth, NASA scientists found themselves asking a question they never expected. What kind of object moves like a machine, but doesn't belong to us? Suddenly, the vast space between stars didn't seem so empty anymore. That idea sent a wave of excitement and concern through NASA. Normally, when something unusual appears in space, scientists go through a list of possible explanations. Could it be a small moon? A distant comet? An asteroid? They ruled out every one of these. It wasn't a planet. It was far too small. It didn't have a tail or give off heat, so it couldn't be a comet. It didn't shine or bend light like a star. Even dust was ruled out because space dust doesn't suddenly turn or change direction mid-flight. Dr. Lucas Hang at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory ran simulation after simulation. Usually, space objects follow predictable paths, based on the rules of physics. But this object didn't follow any of those rules. Its path curved in ways that didn't match anything natural. It didn't slow down or drift like an asteroid would. The scientists had to face a difficult truth. What they were seeing wasn't just unfamiliar, it was unnatural. Its motion showed signs of design or even intelligence. That was both exciting and unsettling. The longer they watched it, the stranger it became. The object didn't just move randomly, it seemed to have a path, a goal. It changed direction with control, not by accident or outside force. No gravity, no solar wind could explain what it was doing. It was like something, or someone, was steering it. Then, something happened that made the mystery even more real. Voyager 2, the twin spacecraft millions of miles away and on a completely different path, picked up the same kind of signals. There were identical magnetic fluctuations, the same pulse pattern. This changed everything. It proved that it wasn't just Voyager 1 malfunctioning. It wasn't a glitch. Two separate spacecraft were detecting the same thing in different areas of space. ESA, European Space Agency, analyst Merck Fontaine compared it to two lighthouses catching the same flash of light. That confirmation made it clear. This was a real event happening out there in deep space. Something was moving through the area where both Voyager probes were traveling, and it didn't behave like anything we've seen before. NASA took the findings seriously and quietly issued a Level 3 alert. This is a rare status, only used for things that don't fit into our current scientific understanding. The event was real. The data was consistent. The motion was controlled. And no one knew what it meant. As more data came in, the story grew even more unbelievable. It wasn't just one or two strange objects. When they looked deeper into the telemetry logs, they saw something that gave them chills. There were 305 separate objects. They weren't drifting randomly. They were moving together, in a smooth, choreographed arc. Each one passed by Voyager 1 in perfect coordination. These weren't fragments of a broken object. They didn't give off heat. There was no evidence of decay or dust. Most shocking of all, the plasma sensors picked up rhythmic pulses, signals that repeated in a pattern. Not natural noise, but something that looked designed. The 305 objects held formation. They stayed the same distance from each other. They didn't spin out of control or move apart. They were traveling together in a way that showed intention, like part of a system or fleet. This wasn't just a strange object in deep space anymore. It was something organized, something complex. And it had passed right by Voyager 1. The strange formation Voyager 1 detected couldn't be explained by natural causes. In space, objects usually drift apart over time due to slight differences in speed, gravity, and other forces. But these 305 objects stayed in a tight group, moving in perfect coordination. That kind of movement isn't possible without control, something guiding them. Scientists said it looked like a flock of birds or a school of fish, except these were in deep space, where such behavior shouldn't happen without technology. Others compared it to a swarm of drones, each one aware of the others and moving together with a shared goal. What made it even more unsettling was the number. One or two objects could be dismissed as an error, or a strange but natural event. But over 300 of them, all showing the same strange, controlled behavior, passing Voyager at the same time, that meant something big was happening out there in interstellar space. It was something that science couldn't yet explain. As scientists looked deeper into the data, they noticed something else unusual. The plasma wave sensors had picked up signals from the objects, steady, repeating patterns. These weren't random bursts of energy like you'd expect from stars or cosmic noise. They were clean, repeated loops and sequences, like someone, or something, was trying to send a message or maintain control. Dr. Serena Patel from Caltech said the signals felt more like a language or system than anything naturally occurring. It was a shocking idea, but one that was becoming harder to ignore. These objects weren't drifting in chaos. They were moving in a planned formation. Some experts even suggested it might be a network of probes. Eric Lowsey from the European Space Agency mentioned the idea, but was quickly told not to speculate in public. Even well-known scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson admitted the patterns in the data didn't seem random. To double-check that this wasn't a problem with Voyager's main systems, the team activated a very old backup telemetry channel, one that hadn't been used since the 1990s. It was meant only for emergencies, but it still worked, and it confirmed everything. The backup detected the same signals, the same patterns, the same formation. This proved beyond doubt that what Voyager had picked up was real. Even more amazing were the clues about how these objects moved. There were no visible engines, no heat, no trails, nothing we'd expect from normal propulsion. But when scientists looked at Doppler data, they saw that the objects were accelerating quickly, in straight lines, and changing direction smoothly. Some of them were moving faster than anything humanity has ever built. In fact, some speeds were so high, they could escape the entire Milky Way galaxy. Dr. Caleb Ramirez from MIT noted these objects weren't just floating, they were navigating. What disturbed him even more was their path. They didn't come near Earth or enter the solar system. They passed by at a safe distance, almost like they were avoiding us, or simply didn't care to stop. Their method of movement was a mystery. They didn't use engines or solar power. Instead, it looked like they were manipulating space itself, moving by creating ripples in the fabric of spacetime. Elena Reyes, a theoretical physicist, described it as gliding on something we don't even know how to measure. It wasn't flight like we understand it. It was something completely new, beyond any technology we've ever seen. While NASA was busy studying the data from Voyager, something unusual started happening on Earth. Amateur radio operators from around the world began reporting strange signals, weak pulses that didn't match anything known. These weren't professional scientists, just hobbyists with simple setups. But when the signals were compared, their timing matched the exact moments Voyager had recorded its strongest anomalies. At first, people thought it was just coincidence or background interference. But the fact that the timing matched made researchers pay attention. These small backyard antennas were somehow picking up faint echoes of the same signals detected billions of miles away in deep space. The signals weren't strong, but they had pattern and structure. Some thought they were bouncing off Earth's atmosphere, others said it might be space debris or magnetic effects, but none of these ideas fully explained what was happening. This led to a bigger question. Were these signals leaking through by accident, or was something out there trying to be heard? Was someone, or something, testing how well Earth could hear? Or were the signals just so powerful that they reached us without trying? Suddenly, things got more serious. NASA started encrypting parts of its deep space transmissions. Live data streams were rerouted through secure channels. Other space agencies, like ESA and China's CNSA, locked down their systems too. Intelligence agencies began to get involved, worried about what these signals could mean. Could they be used as weapons? Could someone else intercept or copy them? Meanwhile, online communities started buzzing. On Reddit, in blogs, and on forums, people debated not just what the signals were, but who else might be listening. NASA stopped giving regular updates. Internally, though, they worked faster than ever, digging deeper into the mystery. With the evidence growing, NASA assigned a special team to go back through decades of old Voyager data. They wanted to know, had this ever happened before? Had something like this been missed in the past? The team dove into records that hadn't been looked at since the 1980s, hoping to find overlooked clues, signs that Voyager might have seen something like this before, but no one had noticed.